No, but like,
yeah.
No, I mean that's another. It's kind of a big difference in how we. And I don't want to put this in a way that puts anybody down, but it's a different aspect in how we look at our animals. Like, look at saltwater keepers, dude. They'll spend 10 grand on a tank to put a $50 fish in it.
Yeah.
I would rather be that. I would rather build
Yeah.
the most insane, natural, built-out, huge, crazy enclosure for a skink.
But
You know?
how long did it take you to learn that lesson, though, that you need to have
Yeah.
higher-end equipment, higher-end enclosures
Mhm.
to keep said animals longer, healthier, and so
Right.
you're not having to continually buy these
Yeah.
animals.
And that's
over and
that's
over.
honestly that's kind of a hobby thing. That's one of the things I kind of hope, just in what we do and all the stuff we talk about changing, is I don't want to see who hatched the coolest morph or the next big thing, dude. I want to see the most decked out, badass rainforest planted dart frog enclosure, or I want to have somebody come up to me and show me like their 42-year-old ball python, normal ass, pulled out of Ghana 40 years ago, normal ass ball python.
Oh, like
That's
Dana
what I
Marble from an ABC.
Yeah.
By the way, she's
Who
a
has one of
badass,
those?
too.
Dude, they exist, man, and I'm telling you, like,
Dana Marble from NABC. She's a veterinarian.
That's
Her
sick.
Phil, I think his name is Phil, and he's 38
yeah,
now. Yeah.
dude, like to me, that's where I'm like, oh, that's cool, like that's awesome.
That
That's
is
what I want
badass.
to see.
But for instance, like I'm saying, there's so many people coming in the hobby, passionate, man. They're fired up, and a lot of them, I can tell you this, man, they're being a lot more receptive to information. Like they want to go the right route, versus where I always feel like I came in an era. I came in like 2017, and everyone just wanted shortcuts. Like everyone was like fucking Craigslist snakes, fucking deals here, deals that. Which it's still out there, but now everyone's like enclosure, which is awesome. Like that should be the mindset, right?
It's
But
how
like,
it should be.
yeah, but a lot of
But
these, good.
it's also who you are starting to hang out with, though. Because you're
Yeah.
also curating who you are hanging out around, and it also is who now is hanging around you because you're starting to invest more of your time and your effort into your animals. Because you wouldn't put like your Timors into something like crappy. You're going to put them into something glorious.
Right.
So it's now also you're curating like that whole, I hate to say it, and I really hate these cliches, but your vibe and your tribe, like it actually does on that one when it comes to the reptile community.
Oh, for sure. That's like everybody bitches about social media. Oh, the reptiles community is so toxic, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's what you're looking for. It's simply what you're looking for. And I'll tell you right now, like I'm like, honestly, anytime I've ever talked shit, it's because I'm looking for shit. And that's just the way it works. Like if you're on a certain group page or you're on a fucking thread and you're looking for a bullshit comment and you're reading them, well, then that's what you get. Like you're asking for it, where, you could literally look at the post, the picture, and keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
or like, if you're in a group, you get put in a group and it's toxic, you just click a button and then you're not in it anymore.
Yeah.
And then somebody's an asshole and you don't want to talk to them or hear their crap, and you just unfollow and you don't have to do that anymore. Like, you create the experience you have, and like depending on who you hang with, like, and the people you follow and the things you do, that's the experience you're gonna have. And we surround ourselves with badass people.
Mine's mainly wildlife now, wildlife photography.
Yeah. I mean, the best piece of advice I got from an older homie of mine when I was younger, and I never really understood it. I mean, I always understood it, but now I really understand it. But he's like, you want to know who you're going to be when you grow up? He's like, look at the fucking 4 closest people you hang around with. And that's who you're going to be. Like, that's you, because you are who you hang around with, like, no matter what. And, some people have to learn it the hard way, or some people just pick up on it. And I could tell you right now, I've just been lucky enough to meet some of the best people I feel personally in this industry. And yeah, you find things out later down the road, but you obviously you do what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I mean, I stick to what the good people I meet. Like I said, I'm so excited to have you guys on because, I have so much, not only so many questions, but just so much interest on what you guys been doing. But not only that, what we're going to talk about with the whole VivTech products. But so what I was trying to get back though earlier was, okay, it's yeah, there's adults, like, we have grown ass men and women that collect snakes, but there's also like younger teen, like 18, 19, 20-year-olds keepers who are, on their own. Like, I talk to these like, hey, I'm 18. I got a job. I'm trying to do this and that. So they want it, but so much isn't feasible because how expensive, products would be. So let's kind of dip into VivTech. Like, I want to know what it is that you guys want to talk about and what the whole idea is behind VivTech. And whoever wants to go, please go ahead.
So VivTech is kind of like I was talking about with Zilla. I wanted to see a company that put their money back into the hobby, cared about conservation, cared about growing the industry, cared about putting out good products, and I was able to do that with them for a while. And I haven't totally announced this, but I'm telling people now. But I no longer am the brand manager of Zilla. I left that position in January of this year. I still consult with Zilla. I'm still a contract consultant with them, so I still work with them a little bit. But it kind of gave me the space to do something that I've always wanted to do, and have the support of Erica to kind of help me run and do this together. And nice. I wanted to bring one of the problems I saw with like the big brands is when they're going through pet stores, it's when you see the whole process, you start to see how many ways it could be fixed and how you could start getting products. I could get cooler technology to entry-level people at a fraction of the price that these big companies can. Mm-hmm. And just because of understanding the processes and knowing how to do it. So that's kind of where I got stuck. I'm like, there's all this cool stuff I want to do, but I can't do it because it just didn't fit what Zilla was. And Zilla really is aimed at beginner, entry level, still intermediate, but at the same, very entry level keepers. And that's understandable. If you're a giant company, you have shareholders, you have to make a big brand, you have to make money. You can't just sell a couple racks at a show here and there or something. You have to have big products. So I totally understand why. But that just eventually was just not what I wanted. So
right.
when I stepped down this year and went to kind of a part-time consulting, it gave us the time to start looking at what we wanted to do. And I told Eric, I said, I want to change the hobby. I want to keep changing herpeticulture, and I want to drive it in a better direction. And I want to keep seeing it move that way. And I think that the products are how that's happening. Whatever products are available for you to care for your animals is going to guide how well you can care for your animals. So the better technology and innovation that's out there, the better opportunities you have to do better. So I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to bring herpeticulture ahead 20 years where it should be.
Wow.
And see if we can't and then on top of it, use that organization and use that equipment and things like that to bring back conservation and tie the hobby to caring about conservation too. Like, it doesn't have to be separate. Like, you don't have to either be against or for it. Like, if you love reptiles in captivity, you'll love that they're out in the wild too. I don't know anybody who I can be like, dude, you want to go to Australia and see Parentes? They would be like, no, I only want to keep it in a box. I really don't want to see one outside. Like, no one's gonna do that. We love reptiles in all forms. So like, why wouldn't you want to go protect all of them?
Oh my God. That's okay. That's just a taste on how Ryan can make people feel stupid. Like, if you really have that mentality.
But it's just that like different way. If you think about it, you love them everywhere. So we should support them everywhere. And if the hobby is taking animals out of the wild, then we should be doing it in a way that's managed, it's supported. I hunt, I love it. Like, I don't have a problem with anybody that even hunts reptiles as long as it's a thing that's permitted. You have licenses, and you have it's.
How the hell do you hunt reptiles?
People that hunt snakes and turtles and stuff. Turtle soup. I'll get you back into the backwoods, baby. I'll show you how to kill some stuff and eat it. No, but like, I thought that there should be more continuity between husbandry needed to be better. We needed more innovation. We needed to be tied with conservation. We need to bring back that relationship with zoos. We're all the same: biologists, scientists, veterinarians, hobbyists, zookeepers, all of it. We're all the same animal nerds. We've just been separated by a lot of
bullshit,
really, and a lot of crap, and it's tearing apart how amazing we could be as a one unified or bigger group. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to see happen, and this is kind of the big step to do that.
And maybe you could, I already thought of this. It's kind of a no-brainer, but I want to hear it from fucking you guys yourselves. But fuck. Okay, It's the biggest chain, Petco, like, you know, PetSmart, all that shit. Like, why don't they give a fuck? Like, why aren't they like, I mean, is it because they'd rather us not keep animals and they make all the money? Or like, why don't they ever fucking mention or have a US art flyer at their fucking store or something like that? Like, I'm just curious.
So this is a way bigger question, to be honest. Like, I could get into it another time. I'll give you the cliff notes of what I can. But we can get into a way deeper conversation.
Why is it because you can't talk too much on it? Is that kind of like?
It's like so.
Because you told me you could talk about anything. I asked you.
Okay. No, for real. Like, no, Petco and PetSmart, like I've been to their corporate headquarters. I've talked to the people that are there.
Okay.
They truly do give a crap. They really do.
All right.
What
ends up happening and why keepers get so frustrated with Petcos is it literally comes down to who's managing that store and whether they care or not. This idea and the rumor out there that like they have all these corporate guidelines that won't let you take care of the animals properly is complete bullshit. It's I know that. I can literally call someone right now and get their book, like their handbook. It's not a thing. But they do have they have to stick within some standards because obviously like you don't want one of your keepers or one of your, employees to be like, no, I've totally taken care of all that stuff. And then they flip it upside down and kill it all. Like, so it's within reason. But anyway, they are selling animals. And then what people do with that and how much they research and what they do when they go home, no one at any reptile show has any control over that. They just sell